Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of No Man's Sky. So today what we're going to be doing is exploring this last system for the season, and we got quite a bit of stuff done. Got the Corvette built and a bunch of other stuff. We explored many planets, so I'm going to try to do a little bit more up here in the farm. We were working on this last episode, but we didn't have enough parts to actually finish it, so we'll have to continue working on this a little bit more until we get it fully built. I was thinking about growing geknip up here as well, just to get some easy, quick crops and stuff. So at least that's the goal at the moment, but overall it's going to take a little bit of time to do, probably a couple seasons to finish this level. After going to the station to basically learn some languages and unlock the location for the system, we went to this first planet, which is a radioactive planet. We mainly went there to scan all the creatures. I didn't want to focus too much on building bases or anything today. There was quite a bit of planets in the system to explore, and a lot of them had planet or animals, so I wanted to make sure that we could get hopefully all of the animals discovered in the system before the end of the season. Alright, so down on that planet, we were able to discover all of the creatures on this particular planet. This is kind of what the terrain looks like. I really try to remember to show what the planet's surface looks like when exploring it, but I don't always remember when I'm actually recording, unfortunately, so I do try though, and this is kind of the best that I can actually do for showing what it looks like. It's very brown, radioactive, and not too many exciting creatures, but there are some. The next planet we went to is a lush planet, so this one's controlled by sentinels. It's like the corrupt planet. On the planet, we were able to, I believe, find all of the creatures. There were just some birds and maybe some ground creatures. There was some fish as well, so I went and docked at this lake here. I was hoping that we would be able to find all of the creatures, but at least the floating ones, like the water creatures. But there was one big fish that we had to go to a deeper ocean for, unfortunately. But yeah, overall there wasn't that many things spawning at first. There was some birds, and I decided to take up a moment to scan some of the other plants and stuff around here just for extra credits. So we did go to the deep ocean part. There was a lot more foliage under there, but we did get that last creature that we needed. The next planet that we went to is a tectonic planet, so it's going to be very volcanic and hot, most likely, so we went there next. There was an ocean, so we had to do some diving. I think there wasn't any ground creatures on this one, though. I can't remember exactly, but we did manage to scan all of them, and it was pretty safe for the environment when we were down there. I don't think there was any activated copper, so we were pretty good on that, but there was some other creatures that we still needed to scan and stuff. Pretty sure the birds were next on my agenda after scanning the fish, so we were able to kind of explore this planet a little bit. So the next planet that we went to is a acidic planet, or a corrosive planet, basically a toxic planet. That's what we're going to. And one of the things that I discovered with the Corvette is you can actually specify which planet you want to go to in the system. So it will basically autopilot you to the location, and it will allow you to jump and basically go into the warp speed for the system. So it's actually a lot faster than trying to figure out where all the planets and stuff are. It will actually bring you right to that planet. So it was a nice little feature for the Corvette. Definitely worth getting one. So we were able to get, again, all the creatures on this planet. There was some birds, some, I think, land animals as well. I can't remember if there was any land animals. I think there was, though, and there was quite a few birds. We were able to find this kind of, like, ruins place location, and got attacked by one of those storm things that were recently added not too long ago. And, yeah, they're just kind of like random events. They're not too harmful. They will do a little bit of damage, but Yeah, you just have to kind of watch out for them. They're not too bad though. But yeah, we were able to learn a language for this. We also got the knowledge stones that are on this structure, so we were able to get some words discovered from this species. I think we're in a Gex system too, so we were able to learn some Gex words, which is good. I'm aiming to get all of the words eventually. The next planet that we needed to go to was the desert planet, and we were able to kind of go upside down through this other planet to go to this little moon that it had. On this planet there was creatures, obviously, but there was some other things that I decided to check out while we were down here. We were coming in for the location and stuff. But yeah, overall, this side of the planet is kind of dark, but it did brighten up over time. And because it's a small planet, it doesn't take that long for day cycles to happen. At dawn, we were able to find that last creature. This is kind of what the planet overall looks like for foliage and stuff. It's a nice little desert planet. The last planet that we went to is a lifeless planet. There was no creatures, but I figured we could go there and scan some rocks. Usually there's rocks there. When we were there, we found this structure. I think it's a monolith or something like that, but there was some strange creature that was frozen in ice, and I wasn't really paying too much attention to what was being said, so I didn't clue in that I wasn't supposed to melt the ice. And overall, the creature is basically mashed together and stuff like that. I guess it was kind of like a monster of some sort. And yeah, overall we were just going ahead and reading the logs and stuff like that, but when we melted the ice, it actually grabbed our throat and did a little bit of damage to us, but we were able to force it back into its crypt, I guess. So that was interesting. But yeah, overall, you really never know what you're gonna get with these monolith places. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes you just don't really know what's going to happen, sometimes you take damage and stuff. So again, when I got to this page, I was like, okay, what do I need to do? So I just basically melted the ice, and yeah, it opened its eyes and tried killing me, I guess, so that was fun. But yeah, overall, it was a good little thing. We didn't get any tech or anything from it, unfortunately, and we did get disapproved by the monolith. So we got a little bit of negative points for that when we were for repetition, but overall it wasn't too bad of an experience. We were able to get some stuff on this planet for scan. Right, so all the planets are now scanned in the system. We were able to rename everything. Now, I would basically continue playing this, but we're already on finished spring, so we're moving on to Going Medieval. You guys really wanted me to do a video series on that again, and there has been a lot of things changed, so I thought it would be good to revisit it, try our luck with it, and basically try to survive on either easy or normal settings. So we'll see what we can do for that. That will be next week when the first video comes out, so definitely stay tuned for that. And I would wave goodbye, but my character's kind of locked in this pose, so I'm not really sure how to get out of it. Sometimes it just works, sometimes it doesn't. I have no idea why it's doing that, but anyhow, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.